My two Satoshis, this is my two Satoshis. Tune in and get the latest and greatest. I'm stacking Toshis,
Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is December 28th, 2020. Hope you guys had a great holidays. Hope everyone's doing well, and welcome to another episode today. I'm back from the holidays, relaxing, didn't do much. As you can see, no uploads. Not much going on, just relaxing and observing what we had going on with this Bitcoin rally. And, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and call it right now. I'm calling it right now. Cryptodamus strikes again. I put a post out earlier on YouTube saying that 28.3 thousand as all-time high. Go ahead and give Cryptodamus the credit of being just 5% away from his call of 30K, because we might be taking a breather before moving higher than that. Yes, indeed. One person said give you 95% credit. I'll take that. That's an A plus. Still an A plus. I'll take that. But yeah, we pretty much got to 30,000, and someone else even mentioned in the comments of that post that on some exchange out there it probably did get to 30,000. But at this point, I personally think that is a fib extension that we touched. Now, where do we go from here? What type of retracement do we have? We already actually had one from the 28,000 point. We did have a nice correction. I think, though, we're going to have a bigger correction. We'll have to see how that pans out. But today, we're going to be looking at just that. When is a good time to sell Bitcoin and take profit? You know, I'm all about that, guys. Told you guys that back in 2017 on the rally up. Take profit on the way up. Don't wait and put it off and think it's going to go higher and higher. You will never get the top every time. That is a myth. Take profits on the way up, dollar cost average out of the position, and maintain your sanity. It's all about maintaining a healthy perspective on the markets that you trade and invest in. So we'll take a look at that, and also the article from you today, the key factors that drove Bitcoin to $28,000 throughout 2020. And also SEC back at it again, did an emergency asset freeze against Virgil Capital. This is a hedge fund. We'll take a look at the details on that one. And then lastly, Cover Protocol suffers an infinite minting attack and the price tanks 97%. Now, you know, typically I would say blood buy. It's time to buy this. But this is a different wave. This is a different time period. We're not in a DeFi bubble craze right now. I would not be buying this. I would not be buying this dip on this Cover Protocol. We'll take a look at the details and see what actually happened and why. All that on today's episode of My Two Satoshis. Let's get it. Guys, find these types of videos informative. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to receive more videos like this. And so let's take a look at this chart, guys, out of Dudex.com. This is where I'm trading my automated trading systems. If you want to sign up, go ahead and drop me an email. Click the link below, sign up first, and then drop me an email to algo@cryptoblood.io. I'm behind on getting those new individuals set up for the free month. Of course, we got the holidays, guys, so I'm back on it today. I'll be contacting those who have already sent me their info to let you know you're all ready to go. But let's talk about this chart here. If I extend this orange line, as you guys can see here, outward, guess where it takes us? The backside of all-time high, where we just had Bitcoin touch. Precisely touches it right there. Look at that. What this means, and what I can do also is extend this one out, and you can see we actually touched the top side of this trend line. What you need to watch here, guys, is this blue line now as an area of possible support. If this breaks, we head much lower. When I say much lower, we can just go ahead and extend that one out. I'll change the color on that so we can differentiate here. So if we break this blue one, we're going to head lower to this one, which is around 24,000. We'll see from there what happens. And so you just take each level at a time. Don't try to predict the future like Cryptodamus does. Set your lines up and wait for the market to reach that point and figure out what's going to happen from there based on price action. So that's where we are with things. I think we head a little bit lower before we try to take out all-time highs of, I'm just going to say it, 30,000. That's what Cryptodamus predicted, 30,000, and we'll go from there. But as of today, we've got Bitcoin up 1.2%, trading at 26,608 bucks. That's crazy saying that. But ETH is up very nicely today, 7.9%. It's trading at $732. I'm so upset that we were unable to stay in our long trade on Ethereum. The algo went long at a nice position, but when Ethereum took that tank down, it wiped out a whole bunch of people, including us. So we did not participate in that rally upwards. And this is what I'm talking about here, guys. We went long about 3-4 days ago, right at 647 bucks. Unfortunately, look at that move down, tapped us out, and we took an L on that one because it ultimately ended up heading way higher. Didn't matter if our stop loss was a little bit lower, because even if we had it down here, eventually it would have gotten tapped out down here. So you can't win every trade, guys. That's just how it is. We did, however, if you want to talk about winning a trade, Bitcoin's trade we closed out of yesterday precisely at 26,400 bucks, roughly somewhere around there. However, we did take a second take profit on our position up here at 27,000, so very high overall. This is an excellent trade. Got in down here. I'm gonna zoom in. Got in down here at 24,700 bucks, and that was all automated, ladies and gents. We'll wait for either entry back into Bitcoin on the long side or take a position to the downside for a short. Ultimately, we'll just have to see how the price action works out, and we'll go from there. And speaking of Bitcoin and taking profit in all-time highs, this article out of AMB talks about when is a good time to take profits. This article is talking about how this time is different, and I agree with that. It's not FOMO driving this run, guys. It's more so actual demand, and I think that demand is coming from a lot of the OTC trades that have occurred over the last 6 months. That doesn't touch or make an impact on the price of Bitcoin immediately. It's going to be a delayed effect. So that's what we're having now. All those hundreds of millions and billions of dollars being purchased over the counter for Bitcoin. That means not on exchanges is going to ultimately have to balance out. And you're starting to see that surge happen now as more and more companies decide to get into Bitcoin as a hedge against the US dollar. And so the article talks about that very fact. And the article talks about how at some point Bitcoin will need to correct itself. And hence the question is it actually time to take profits? Is it a $27,000 or $29,000 or even $30,000 price point? They mentioned the highly over leveraged indicators like RSI. They're in the overbought zone, extremely in the overbought zone, while the stochastic RSI was in the overbought zone as well. The price, however, showed that it had zoomed past 1.68 Fibonacci level, with the cryptocurrency now within reach of knocking out the 2.272 Fib and 2.4 Fib levels. And see, I'm noticing with their Fibonacci extensions, this is a very small time frames. Their Fib extensions go from 2019 over to the lows of September or May, I should say, of 2020. Ultimately, I mean, that's not where I had my fibs drawn, but it looks like their numbers are very close to where my numbers are. I had around 30,000 and theirs is 28,258 bucks as the 2.276 extension. And so they're saying that from a technical analysis perspective, there should be a retracement, and it should drop, if it does happen, should drop to 21,200 or the previous all-time high of 19,666. And they're saying worst case scenario 18,000. I don't see it going to 18,000. I do at some point, don't know when, don't know if it's in this current pattern Bitcoin is retracing in. I don't know if it's in this pattern or in a future one where we go higher then lower again. But at some point, ladies and gents, the market will test the all-time high level. It wants to make sure that is truly an area of support, a new area of support. So don't feel, I know it's kind of hard, but don't feel rushed to buy Bitcoin at these levels. At least dollar cost average in. And if it goes higher, just dollar cost average higher. But don't buy or throw all the bag at Bitcoin at these prices, because ultimately it will have to come back to 20,000 at some point in the near future. To me, it was a good time to get out of Bitcoin, at least take some profit when you saw the price action and it touched the bottom side of this trend line and extended outward, and knowing that the Fibonacci of $28,000, $30,000 range. So ultimately, as I've stated before, this is what you want to watch, that blue line. And if we break that, we cross below that and close maybe 5-6 hours below that turquoise line, then we're heading lower to the green one. And so I wanted to just quickly touch on this article from You Today that talks about the key factors that drove Bitcoin to its all-time high of 28,000 throughout 2020. And the first one they mention here is the stimulus program and Bitcoin halving. I think you really want to separate those two. Stimulus program being all the money that the government through whatever reason, whatever excuse they want to use. In this case, they're using the excuse of a pandemic. The pandemic stimulus programs and all the money that's been printed and extended to corporations primarily, not the U.S. citizens, but corporations primarily does. And you see who's buying. You see who's buying Bitcoin this go around. It's not the individuals, right? It is the big companies. So with the stimulus program, it definitely gave a lot of additional liquidity for these companies to slosh around and look for areas to invest in, and Bitcoin was one of them. Another one they talked about here in this article is the halving, fundamental reason for Bitcoin's move up. Remember to look at stock to flow. That is something that I think is very accurate so far, has been at least. Don't know what the future holds for that model, but the stock to flow model for Bitcoin says that we should be at 250, even $300,000 Bitcoin in the next year or two. And so that Bitcoin halving happened in May, guys. And then I just talked about this, and this kind of is correlating with the stimulus money that's been dished out. MicroStrategy, Square, and PayPal stepped in, and that kind of started in late summer. Financial institutions started allocating large amounts of funds to acquire Bitcoin. And, it's just funny. I want to just chime in. Shout out to my man King from the Gentleman of Crypto. He's back home in the city for the holidays, and he made a good point about how the public is giving MicroStrategy all this credit for jumping into Bitcoin, not at $1,000, not at $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, even $10,000. They jumped in at $15,000. Why are they getting so much credit? I have no clue. I'm not hating on the brother. Glad he made that decision, and that decision has paid off handsomely for him. So I'm not taking anything away from Michael Saylor at all, but I'm just saying, like, people are running around like he's the second coming of Christ, and up until now, kind of late in the game. Not saying you look 5 years out, $15,000 Bitcoin is going to look very cheap. I'm not saying that at all, but yes, MicroStrategy, Square, PayPal are all stepped in, and again, thanks to that easy money, those stimulus programs and easy money programs that the Fed put together. And then it just goes on to talk about how Bitcoin outperformed gold by 10 times. Listen, I know a couple of people who are still very big on gold. Nothing wrong with gold, but all I'm gonna say is that a cart and buggy in 2020 has almost no significance, unlike it did when it was 1920 or earlier, right, in the 1800s. That was the only mode of transportation at that point. So the significance and the importance of a cart and buggy was so much more than it is today. Same to me goes for gold. In a digital age, tech age, that is not going to be your primary source of hedging against the US dollar. Let the market speak for itself, and it is. You see Bitcoin's outperformance of gold. So not sure why they have gold here as a key factor that drove Bitcoin's price up. I don't really necessarily think gold drove Bitcoin's price up, though it could have. If you have people looking at, people who are in gold, maybe switching or reallocating their portfolio out of gold and into Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're looking at. But yeah, those are some key factors for sure. Let me know in the comments below if you can think of any other factors why Bitcoin touched $28,000 over the weekend. What other factors not mentioned in this article do you think of for this one? All right. And then lastly, we'll talk about Cover Protocol, which suffered an infinite minting attack. And I told you guys at the beginning, I'm no longer in that blood buy mode when it comes to these stupid DeFi projects messing up, taking huge risks with unaudited code. I'm not in the mood to buy these bloodbath dips because I just think it's different. DeFi has cooled off, and so I wouldn't advise getting into this one here. But the suspected, and it may have a bounce. It really may have a bounce, but I'm not going to touch it. A suspected hacker has exploited, they said, the Cover staking protocol, inflating the token supply by printing over 4 quintillion coins. However, in a surprise move, the suspected attacker returned the funds with a note saying next time take care of your own shit. Wow. In an initial exploit, the attacker liquidated over 11,700 coins on the 1-inch decentralized exchange aggregator after inflating the token supply, according to the data from Ethereum wallet explorer Nansen. So in total, the rogue actor drained more than 5 million from the project as of press time. Cover Protocol addressed the incident in a message posted on its Discord group, saying the blacksmith farming contract has been exploited to mint infinite cover tokens. We have restricted minting access to the farming contract in order to stop the attacker. If you are providing liquidity for cover token, please remove immediately. The attack, though, caused the decline of the token by 97%, while Monday's incident makes Cover the latest protocol, DeFi protocol that is, to suffer a malicious exploit in a year ridden with opportunistic profiteering attacks against numerous protocols. So I hope lesson learned from them. I guess it was good that he was a white hat hacker and gave the money back, but I think the damage is done. Again, you may see a little bounce from this, but my appetite, Crypto Blood's appetite for these DeFi projects that royally mess up is zero. So, hey, just wanted to cover it though. That's in the news today. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gents. I didn't really have time to talk about this SEC emergency asset freeze on Virtual Capital. It's just a hedge fund, 23-year-old founder though. So he was accused of fabricating records for failing to redeem 3.5 million in investments and attempting to withdraw 1.7. So just wanted to touch on that. It's not really an article. Just wanted to let you know the SEC is active. And 2021 is going to be the year of the SEC versus Bitcoin and crypto. I'm just letting you guys know. Look out for that. We got a long road ahead of us. It's not all peaches and cream or whatever you want to call it, right? We got some issues that we have to take on and overcome. So look out for that in 2021. You're going to see an upped level of SEC investigations, subpoenas, all that stuff. That is coming. That is coming, ladies and gents. But that's pretty much it for today. If you found this video informative, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And click that bell to receive more videos like this. Shout out to Ryan R for the song request today. Gazelle Who. We out of here, people. That's my two Satoshis. Holla!